Tell me. Might be a midfield slugfest today as France and Spain, of course, are going to be directly against one another in the first semi-final of the FIFA 2026 World Cup. Rodri holds the key to the midfield for La Roja, and the likes of Manu Kone, Aurelien Tchouameni, and Adrien Rabiot, whoever Didier Deschamps decides to field later tonight, 8 p.m. Nigerian time. The Blues of France and La Roja will be facing off in the first semi-final of the 2026 FIFA World Cup. Who writes these scripts? Like we said before, the top 4 ranked team in terms of FIFA rankings will be facing off against each other in the semi-finals. First will be France versus Spain. And France, they've got the firepower. Spain, not so much. Because Lamine Yamal hasn't scored yet, and a lot of people are asking questions. But his all-round performance has been great, because in totality. But people want that added spark. We live on stats, basically. We live off it as sports journalists and analysts and what have you. So Lamine Yamal has to score for people to actually maybe appreciate what he is doing for the Spanish national team, since he's the new golden boy of not just the national team and Barcelona, but football in general. A lot of people pushed and thought that he was touted as the Ballon d'Or winner ahead of Ousmane Dembele the last time, but unfortunately it wasn't to be. Hopefully he can win it at some point in his career. He's quite young. I think today is also his birthday. And happy birthday to the lad. He's done quite well in the short but memorable time as a footballer. But Didier Deschamps has said Spain are heavy favorites. I think he's trying to shift pressure to La Roja. But France, on the other hand, a very good side on balance of play in this World Cup. I think France probably edges it for me, and that's just for me. So a lot of people have their opinions and views. I think we miss the prediction specialist Eki Otame regime today. He's unavoidably absent. I'm sure that he'll be here at some point this week to give his undiluted analysis and predictions, maybe for the final. Who knows? Hopefully, we'll have him here and a few others. Well, we are going to have new faces also in the coming weeks to analyze transfers, because as soon as the World Cup is over, we will now focus solely on transfers and maybe or tennis tournaments and Formula One. We'll be giving you more Formula One news and basketball as well. So France and Spain tonight. That is the most important thing happening in sports today. So France versus Spain. France, you know what they pack in from defense to attack. You know how tactically astute their manager is. So we'll be expecting a very, very competitive fixture. France, well, Spain, free-flowing football, maybe a bit technically superior, a bit. I wouldn't. In fact, it took all of my audacity to say that because over the years, Spain, even from Luis Aragonés to Vicente Del Bosque to Luis Enrique and now De La Fuentes, they've employed that highly technical game to whatever they've been doing. It's been a strategic input, that technique, in addition to the individual abilities of the players. So for France, they've got very good players. We've talked about them and we continue to talk about them. Kylian is on 20 goals in World Cup history, 8 World Cup goals. Dembele is on 5. Kylian has assisted him a majority of his 5 goals. Dembele also has 2 assists. Kylian has 3 assists. So for Spain, Mikel Oyarzabal and co will be looking to do damage, and France will no longer be afraid that Unai Simon hasn't considered a goal. Charles Catalera ensured that Spain considered one goal in this tournament after Belgium initially equalized in the quarterfinal before Senny Lamens' big mistake led to Mikel Merino's winner for La Roja. So France will not want to. I think Mike Maignan is a better goalkeeper at this point than Senny Lamens, and he's more reliable, I dare say. So hopefully Senny Lamens will look past that error and do a lot better for Manchester United next season. Well, he did very well. I think when he replaced Aita Bayinda between the sticks, it was a lot better for the Red Devils. He actually plays for the Red Devils at club level and plays for the Red Devils at national team level. So, in fact, the Red Devils of Manchester United and the Red Devils of Belgium, only one player. So, well, anyways, coincidental or what have you, but it is what it is. And Senny Lamens obviously has been vilified by the likes of Zlatan Ibrahimovic, but that's football for you. A lot of people will criticize you when you go wrong and praise you. It's actually an artificial thing, right? So don't put too much don't dwell too much on it and put too much attention to it. Just know that that's how life is. You win some, you lose some. Most importantly, if you're a wise person, you learn from your mistakes and your missteps. So yeah, for France and Spain, let us look forward to a very good match. Quite interesting, we hope. We hope it wouldn't be a drab performance, people trying to defend more than they should attack. I think the likes of Michael Olise will rather attack than defend. So it is left for the likes of Paul Kubasi and co to ensure that Michael Olise doesn't do damage to their defense, because he's actually a magical player, definitely in the form of his life. That is for the World Cup. We know that tomorrow Argentina and England will be facing off. We won't be here tomorrow to give you the analysis, but we know that Argentina definitely wary of Harry Kane and Jude Bellingham. Any team in the world will be wary of Lionel Messi, but it's not just Messi now. Julian Alvarez scored a fantastic goal, a brilliantly taken goal against Switzerland. You've also got Lautaro Martinez to worry about. You've got Yolo Celso, if he's given opportunities. You've got Nico Paz, and also has found opportunities hard to come by. Not because he's not good enough, but because there are players ahead of him who are a bit better and more experienced. In defense, we've got Christian Romero and Lisandro Martinez, who know Harry Kane very well, haven't played against him in the Premier League, but it's a different ball game altogether in this World Cup, because Harry Kane, even though you might know how he plays, but he's extremely ruthless when it comes to games of this magnitude. England will know that they have to improve on their fourth place performances over the years in 1990, what have you. They've got to improve tremendously from their 2018 fourth place performance. The last time they won the World Cup, the last time they won the World Cup was 60 years ago, when they had the likes of Sir Bobby Charlton. So things have to improve in that regard. They also had Jeff Hurst, who was the last player to score a World Cup hat-trick until Kylian Mbappe did it up 3.5 years ago in Qatar, even though he ended up on the losing side against Argentina. So for the World Cup, France versus Spain today, England versus Argentina tomorrow. The England midfield will be missing Declan Rice. They may be missing Declan Rice. If he might pass a late fitness test, who knows? But at this point, people are saying, well, not just people. The manager of England, Thomas Tuchel, is saying Morgan Rogers can do a job in midfield alongside Elliot Anderson. So it remains to be seen, because before the World Cup, there were a lot of English journalists who said Morgan Rogers had to start ahead of Jude Bellingham. In fact, there was a certain journalist who works somewhere, I don't want to give him popularity, said that Jude Bellingham is not good enough to even go to the World Cup at all. Imagine if he hadn't gone to the World Cup, where England would have been. right? So some of these journalists, they have it over their heads, right? They think they know it all, especially English journalists. English journalists, I think they bite more than they can chew. But yeah, going beyond that, Jude Bellingham he always proves his doubters wrong, because at some point he was injured. A lot of people wrote him off. Injuries can do some damage to a player's confidence, not just his playing abilities, his confidence. Because when you are on a good run and you succumb to injury, you, as a footballer, you must get injured at some point in your career. Some people are lucky enough not to have long-term injury layoffs like anterior cruciate ligaments, what Amadou Onana is currently facing. There are some who have had 2 or 3 in their careers, and they overcame. I remember when Hargreaves, who was unlucky with injuries. I remember Sebastian Deisler, who had to retire early. So many great players. Let's not forget the great Marco van Basten, who already won 3 Ballon d'Ors before injury put paid to his career. So sometimes you cut some world-class players as slack, because form is temporary, class is permanent, and that's what Jude Bellingham is showing for the 3 Lions of England at the moment. So those journalists have to go and eat their words with salad, with coleslaw. So yeah, that's exactly how it has been so far for Jude Bellingham and England. We know nobody can doubt his playing abilities. Nobody, especially if you have 2 eyes and you actually know what you're doing. You know, if you love the beautiful game, you see Jude Bellingham, you know he's complete. He's a complete midfielder. He's a war horse, right? He's a force to reckon with, and any team is lucky to have him. Thankfully, Real Madrid very happy to have him and keep him for the long haul. He's just 23 years old. Imagine how many years more he has to dominate his profession. So let's give him all the praise that he deserves. Well, moving forward, we're going to give you some transfer news, but before then, let's talk about tennis again. Yesterday we said Yannick Sinner won his 5th slam. Very important for the records, very important for that competitiveness or that competition he has ongoing. A very friendly rivalry, right? Healthy rivalry with Carlos Alcaraz, who has won 7 Grand Slam championships, and Yannick has won 5. Yannick is one of those very few guys who could defend his Wimbledon title. Carlos Alcaraz 2023 and 24, Yannick 25, 26. Novak has defended it 2 or 3 times. Of course, Roger Federer, who has won 8, defended it many times as well. In fact, Roger Federer was the Wimbledon champion for 5 consecutive years, 2003, 4, 5, 6, 7. And he played a 6th consecutive final in 08 and narrowly lost to no one else but Rafael Nadal, and in a 5-set thriller. And yeah, that is exactly how great Yannick Sinner is to have joined the likes. Even Rafael Nadal couldn't defend his Wimbledon title. He won in 2008, couldn't come back in 2009 to compete at all because of the injury faced in the 2009 French Open 4th round, where he was defeated for the first time in 32 matches by Robin Söderling. He came back, bounced back in grand style in 2010, won Wimbledon, won the French Open. That's the Channel Slam. He did it in 08 and did it in 2010. So that's Rafael Nadal for you, but he never defended a Wimbledon title. Yannick Sinner has successfully done that. So Yannick is actually making his own, or creating his own part in tennis history, and doing it in style. So the Italian was on hand to thank a few guys, especially Darren Cahill, his coach, who has now managed a player to 8 or 4 players to 8 Grand Slam championships. And the triumphs have been Yannick 5, Andre Agassi, who he made the oldest #1 at that time in ATP history. He led Agassi to 1 Grand Slam title, led Rusty Leighton Hewitt to 1 Grand Slam title, and Simona Halep of Romania to one Grand Slam title as well. So the likes of Richard Williams, the father of Venus and Serena Williams. Who else is quite successful? Oh, Tony Nadal, Rafael Nadal's uncle and coach for so many years, who took Nadal to Grand Slam title upon Grand Slam title until he handed over the reins to Carlos Moya, who himself is a former world #1 and former French Open champion. Carlos Alcaraz used also to be coached by Juan Carlos Ferrero, who himself is a former world #1 as well. So these guys, they are looking to do better, looking to add to their already amazing Grand Slam hauls and title winning seasons and careers. It's been remarkable for Yannick Sinner especially, and when Carlos returns, it's going to be a two-horse race again. Right now, Yannick is dominating after Alexander Zverev won the French Open, took advantage of Yannick's early exit and Carlos Alcaraz's absence from the tournament. That's how you win titles as much as you can. You have to also be at the right place at the right time and take your opportunities. So Yannick Sinner, congratulations on your 5th Grand Slam. Attention shifts to Flushing Meadows as the French Open. Let us see how that goes. That's the US Open, I beg your pardon. The US Open happens at Flushing Meadows in New York in the United States of America around August, September. So let us see. Before then, there will be tournaments, Masters 1000s, especially in Cincinnati and Canada, either Toronto or Montreal. So let us see how all those tournaments will, because there are so many guys who are coming up who don't want to always see Yannick or Carlos or Novak Djokovic or Alexander Zverev win titles. They also want to be in the conversation. Felix Auger-Aliassime is there. They've got Andrew Rublev, whether you like it or not. Daniil Medvedev knows how to win a slam, has won it before, has won 20 plus titles in his career as well. So he is no slouch. You've got the likes of Joao Fonseca coming through the ranks as well. A young guy, still a teenager, but we know what Rafa did as a teenager was quite devastating as a teenager. So age is just a number, especially if you know what you're doing and you know what you pack, what you bring to the table. More tennis. Venus and Serena Williams have released their schedule for the hard court swing, and we know how great they are at winning tournaments, even though they are not so potent anymore, not so young anymore. Age is no longer on their side, but never write off Venus and Serena. They couldn't team up at Wimbledon because Serena tweaked her knee while being defeated by Maya Joint in that first round at Wimbledon. But Venus and Serena will be more motivated to do very well during the hard court swing. So they have announced that they will be pretty much everywhere. So Venus will be in DC, Cincinnati, Toronto. Serena will be there as well. They'll be playing singles and doubles, and everything is going to culminate at Flushing Meadows, New York, or in Flushing Meadows, New York, for the US Open, which both of them know how to win and have won. Venus Williams won the US Open twice in her career. I don't know if she's going to call it regrets, but she should have won at least 2 or 3 Australian Open titles and maybe 1 French Open title at least. She's won 7 Grand Slam titles. She could have won a lot more. Unfortunately, she had her sister in front of her, and the likes of Lindsay Davenport, Mary Pierce, Justine Henin, legendary, Kim Clijsters, Martina Hingis, Yvonne Majoli, Monica Seles, Gabriel Sabatini, Steffi Graf, of course, was in and around at some point. She's got those people, and Amelie Mauresmo, who won 2 slams of her own and is now tournament director at the French Open. She's got those women, Elena Dementieva, Yelena Yankovic, people who ensured that Venus especially couldn't add to her 7 Grand Slam titles. Most importantly, and she has to look into her sister's eyes, because her sister beat her pretty much in many Grand Slam finals. I don't have the right number now, but I'm sure that tomorrow I'll be able to tell you how many Grand Slam finals exactly Serena defeated Venus. And Serena was also a loser in many finals against Venus as well. I remember in 2008, after Venus lost at Wimbledon to Bartley, she actually had to quickly make it up by defeating her sister Serena. And when Serena won won the Australian Open in 2017, pregnant with her daughter Olympia, she defeated her sister Venus in the final of the Australian Open. And Venus had a very great year. She was 36 going on 37, and she did very well in that 2017 WTA season, reaching 2 Grand Slam finals and doing very well everywhere else. And Gabi Muguruza, her only 2 Grand Slam titles were achieved by defeating Venus at Wimbledon and Serena at the French Open. So anyways, that's for tennis. Let's go straight into transfers before we start talking too much about other things with respect to transfers. Yuri Tillemans is just one step away from becoming a Manchester United player. Manchester United did that transfer like absolute bosses, going all out for Yuri Tillemans, triggering his £35 million release clause and ensuring that he becomes a Manchester United player. That will definitely assuage the minds of fans of Manchester United, who were already crying wolf after the deal for Ederson was announced that it has collapsed. And Manchester United fans said, which way? Because Matthias Fernandes was overpriced. Well, Manchester United couldn't afford to pay £85 million for Matthias Fernandes, who has been relegated twice already in his young career. And he was also asking for salary in the excess of 250,000 Great British pounds per week. Manchester United didn't see that he deserves that sort of amount, that his playing career couldn't have commanded or can't command that sort of amount at this point in time. All right, so they looked past that and quickly signed Andre Santos from Chelsea. He was officially announced and unveiled yesterday, taking the number 17 shirt previously worn by Fred. We remember that Fred used to wear the number 17 shirt. Most recently, Alejandro Garnacho, who went to Chelsea and thought that he was spiting Manchester United. Right now, Xabi Alonso has said that he is looking to ship off the Argentine. The Argentine made so many mistakes at Manchester United, thought it was the next best thing after sliced bread. Unfortunately, that hasn't been the case. Even at Chelsea, after that 40 million move, he has not played to expectation. Now, he has to get a new club as quickly as possible. Inter Milan bid 32 million euros for Curtis Jones, and Liverpool immediately knocked it back. 32 million euros will not be enough to prize away Curtis Jones from Anfield, and Donny Iraola has said as much. So Inter Milan will be looking to add to that or look elsewhere for options that are cheaper, more affordable, and probably better. It has happened before. All right, so for Manchester United, they are looking to secure the signature of Yuri Tillemans, who has successfully passed his medical examinations, unlike Ederson, who had some issues according to the Manchester United medical staff. All right, so that's for transfers for Manchester United. They are still looking for other midfield options. One more midfielder, maybe Carlos Baleba, who knows, maybe Manu Kone, who has done very well at this World Cup, does very well at Roma, did very well last season on the balance of play over the last 2 or 3 years. He has been a dependable midfielder. So let's see if Manchester United can prize him away from the Principality. All right, so on that note, Manchester United also will be looking at other midfield options other than Baleba and Kone. They have others on their list. Let's see if they'll accelerate a signing the way they have done with Andre Santos and Yuri Telemans 2-3 days, and the signatures were all but gotten. All right, so that's for Manchester United. And Liverpool, with respect to Inter Milan trying to sign Curtis Jones. Other transfer related news, well, Manchester United will be ready to make a move for a Newcastle star. That's on the wraps until it is a certainty. We cannot assume. All right, there is growing support emerging within UEFA to back a candidate against Gianni Infantino in the next FIFA presidential election. Alexander Seferin is not expected to run, while Nasser Al-Khelaifi, who is the chairman of PSG, will also appear unlikely despite being backed. All right. So Darius Mazzocchi has been floated by several executives as a potential candidate. Not a popular name, but if he's backed by influential figures, who knows what can happen. All right. So yeah, Gianni Infantino came under fire after accepting to suspend the suspension of Folarin Balogun, among other controversial issues, but that was the chief of it all. All right, so Brighton have finally signed Luka Vuskovic from Tottenham Hotspur, fee in the region of 46 million pounds plus 4 million in add-ons. There must be add-ons, of course. Add-ons spice up any deal. So when you see add-ons, you know, those are the hidden fees inside the transfer fees. So well, 46 million pounds plus add-ons. Nobody just wants to say 50 million outright. So you just do it in bits and pieces. 46 million pounds plus add-ons. So well, good luck to Luka at Brighton. All right. So what else? Club Brugge. We said it yesterday. They have signed Jan Sommer from Inter Milan on a contract. Well, that transfer was no amount was needed because Jan Sommer left Inter Milan on a free transfer to Club Brugge. All right, so Jan Sommer, yeah, very good goalkeeper for Switzerland and Inter Milan over the years, especially for Switzerland. Very, very good goalkeeper for Basel as well. I remember there was a time with Zedjan Shaqiri. Switzerland really had a formidable squad. So yeah, we talked about Yuri Tillemans. So today or tomorrow at the very latest, officially become a Manchester United player. Okay, so Paolo Maldini has been appointed as technical director by the Italian FA, and the technical advisor there is also someone who we all know, Leonardo, who used to be technical director at PSG. All right, so yeah, let's see some other transfer news for Arsenal. They are stepping up their pursuit of Atletico Madrid striker Julian Alvarez. So it's either he goes to Arsenal or Barcelona, even though he favors Barcelona. But if Arsenal people decide to say, okay, Miguel Angel Gil, the Supremo at Atletico, take 200 million euros. That's what we're offering to buy Julian Alvarez. It's money makes the world go round. Yeah. So if their offer is more than Barcelona's, I think Barcelona will have to concede defeat in that regard. But Barcelona still fighting, still doing everything possible. The race for the Argentine has cooled. Well, with Alvarez now open to move to Arsenal. The race for the Argentine, meaning that Barcelona may be taking a step back. Who knows? Arsenal are unwilling to exceed 90 million pounds, while Atletico are holding out for a fee in the excess of 100 million pounds. So let us see who will eventually budge. All right. So Paris Saint-Germain are on the verge of extending their contract with Nike for 5 years for around 100 million euros per year. All right, they deserve it. They've won the last 2 Champions League titles, won the Ligue 1, that was the French championnat. They've won it too many times now. I think at some point it was just Monaco and Lille. Thomas Meunier is leaving Lille to sign for Sunderland in a 2-year deal. He's leaving Lille as a free agent. Thomas Meunier has been here for too long. Nobody knows how old that man is. Well, that's a joke, but he's doing quite well. Of course, still highly, highly dependable. So, all right. So, let's see. Manchester United also remain determined to sign Newcastle left back Lewis Hall this summer. Hall is viewed as Michael Carrick's priority target as left back and is believed to be open to the move. All right, so he's open to the move. Who wouldn't be open to sign for Manchester United? I think Manchester United and Real Madrid, they command that respect at the moment. But a lot of people say, why not add a few other clubs? That's my opinion. All right, so you are also entitled to yours. All right, okay. For Manchester United again, they could revive their move for Atalanta midfielder Ederson later in the transfer window. The Red Devils pulled out of a £38 million agreement after concerns emerged during the Brazilian's medical. So a return for Ederson remains possible. So that window hasn't been shut permanently yet. Manchester United may return later in the summer for Ederson, but Atalanta hope to tie him down to a long-term deal, which will run until 2031. If that happens, then Manchester United have to renegotiate with Atalanta, even though there might have been a pre-existing contractual agreement. But that will all change with the contract renewal for Ederson. All right, Bayern Munich have made a U-turn on Kim Min-jae and now plan to keep the defender this summer. That decision was made by none other Vincent Company. The South Korean international is no longer considered a candidate for sale ahead of the new season. Okay, only an exceptional offer that Kim wants to accept could change Bayern's position. So only something, well, out of this world, maybe something that will be mind-blowing. Only a mind-blowing offer can change that situation at Bayern Munich for Kim Min-jae. Okay, all right. So Everton are interested in signing Jet Spence as David Moyes looks to strengthen at right back this summer. Is he going to leave Tottenham and go to Everton? Has it happened before? It has happened many times before. But at this point, with Tottenham having signed players for 92 million plus 7 million add-ons, 85 million, they're bolstering their squad. So I think it will be more sensible for Jet Spence to remain there in order to join these new recruits to take Tottenham to where they think they belong. All right. So for Michael Richards, he announces his intention to leave Sky Sports and BBC. Oh, wow. Michael Richards is viewers and listeners' delight. Hopefully, good luck wherever he intends to go. Okay. So Newcastle United have made contact over a potential move for Manchester United midfielder Mason Mount. Okay, Eddie Howe is targeting midfield reinforcements after missing out on Yohan Manzambi and losing Sandro Tonali. Manchester United have rejected the approach and insist Mount remains part of Michael Carrick's plans. Well, maybe holding out for a higher fee because I don't know. So Mount is injury prone. So you know, he goes off injured again and might be long term. But he's fighting. He's fighting to do well, leave his mark at Manchester United. Hopefully that goes well for him. Let injuries leave him alone for a bit. He's wearing one of the most important numbers in Manchester United, one of the most important numbers in Manchester United squad. So let us see what will happen. Okay, Manchester United are also exploring a move for Wolves midfielder Raul Gomez, and they think that will bolster their midfield. The Brazilian has emerged as United's next target following the arrivals of Andre Santos and Yuri Tillemans, who is potentially arriving today or tomorrow. Okay, Manchester United everywhere. All right, so they've been busy. Aston Villa have made inquiries over AC Milan left back Pervis Estupinian as Lucas Dean has closed in or chosen to sign for PSG as not an understudy to Nuno Mendes, maybe a backup. Yeah, so that's he's going to be the second choice left back of course, but he's doing well. And at the World Cup, he's starting. He started for France in the last time out, so at left back ahead of Theo Fernandez. So or Hernandez. I heard two Hernandez brothers and the France national team, Theo and Lucas. Lucas plays for PSG. Theo used to be captain of AC Milan. All right, Dan Brown is also on Villa's radar with the interest expected to intensify if Ezri Konsa leaves this summer. These are average players, Ezri Konsa, respectfully, but yeah, who knows what's on their minds. Arsenal expected to step up their pursuit of Newcastle United midfielder Bruno Guimaraes. That Guimaraes wants to leave Newcastle by all means, and Newcastle holding out maybe for a higher fee because they are insisting that their captain cannot leave because Sandro Tonali has left, because Anthony Gordon has left. Well, that doesn't concern Guimaraes. He wants to go to Arsenal. Sometimes you can have a massive clear out in the summer, not a clear out, a lot of not a clear out per se, because you didn't force them to leave. They decided to leave, all right. A lot of people want to make money as fast as possible in order not to be bankrupt. Well, not to regret some decisions they didn't make earlier in their careers. Aston Villa also stepping up their interest in Lucas Bergvall as they prepare for Yuri Telemans' move to Manchester United. The Tottenham midfielder is open to leaving North London and could welcome a switch to Villa Park. Of course, you'll find opportunities very few with the capture of Sandro Tonali and Matthias Fernandes. Since they have decided to become Tottenham players, they have been announced and purchased. It is going to be difficult. The addition of both players will make opportunities difficult to come by for Lucas Bergvall. So the Swede wants to quickly jump ship before he finds it difficult to get a new club, because not many players want to sit on the bench. But that's why football is a team sport. Some have to start and some have to come from the bench, and some have to warm that bench for a long time before something interesting happens and there will become a break or an opportunity for you to start, or to improve your options, either to start or to be an option from the subs bench. All right, so Aston Villa and Newcastle are monitoring Real Betis winger is really, oh wow, is really ahead of the possible of a possible summer move. The Morocco international has appointed Footfield ISM as his new agency as he prepares for the next step in his career. Okay, so that's good. All right, so for that, so many transfers, let's take about 3 or 4 more. Pep Guardiola has emerged as a candidate to become the next manager of the Italy national team. Wow. The Azzurri, they really need someone like Pep, because they've tried too many people who haven't exactly lived up to expectations. Gennaro Gattuso, so many people. So they have to. Roberto Mancini as well didn't do well. They got Luciano Spalletti, nothing changed. So they need Pep. So imagine Pep as the Italy national team boss, Jurgen Klopp as the German national team boss, Carlo Ancelotti in Brazil, Zinedine Zidane in France. Wow, that's a lot. Thomas Tuchel, let's not forget, that guy is also good. He's also good in Brazil. And Scaloni as the manager of Argentina as well. So good guys. Let us see how that goes. Will Pep accept the offer it remains to be seen. Bayern Munich and Michael Olise are set to hold talks after the World Cup. Very important talks. All right. Real Madrid are closely monitoring the situation with Florentino Perez, a huge admirer of the winger. If Olise signals he's open to the move, the situation could change quickly. Bayern have no intention of selling, but an offer worth more than 200 million euros would leave the Bundesliga champions with a major decision to make. Remember that Neymar's release clause was set at 225 million euros, and PSG laughed and said, small thing, and they paid it. So don't doubt the power of money. Okay. Yeah, so Manchester United, well, okay, so Liverpool are attempting to hijack Manchester United's moves for your Gomez and Manu Kone this summer. Wow. Okay. So the Reds have already made contact with Wolves for Gomez after Atletico Madrid's move collapsed. Quite unfortunate for the Wolves midfielder. Gomez is valued at £38 million, while Roma are prepared to sell Kone for around £47 million. Okay. So Yuri Telemans is on his way to Manchester United. Congratulations to Manchester United fans the world over. That is the much we can take for transfers. Let us look at a few other interesting developments, especially at the World Cup. We remember we told you that the scorers chart, a lot of people are gaining ground, and people also for the golden boot, it is Mbappe or Messi or Bellingham right now, either Mbappe or Messi or Bellingham. I think those are the showings at the moment. Mbappe, Messi, Bellingham. Yeah. So let's see what happens today, tomorrow, and on Sunday. On Saturday, that's the losers final. So today, tomorrow, Sunday, and that will give a clearer picture of the golden boot. Let's see who wins the Adidas golden boot and the golden ball. The golden ball is the award given to the player of the tournament, and that's why I said for the golden ball it is Messi, Mbappe, Bellingham. For the golden boot it is Mbappe, Messi, Bellingham, Kane. The people still remaining in tournament. Moussa Dembele has 5 goals as well. It is highly unlikely that he will score a hat-trick today and score a hat-trick in the final to emerge as the winner of the golden boot, but impossible is absolutely nothing. So let us see how those stats are going to change today, tomorrow, and on Sunday. Mikel Oyarzabal may have something to say too. He's got a few goals in him as well. If he can score 2 today, who knows? Score 2 in the final, then yeah, he is also going to be in the running for golden boot and golden ball. But for now, it is all about, for golden boot, it is all about Messi and Mbappe. Those are the front runners. And the pretenders are Kane, Bellingham, and Ousmane Dembele. So let us see how that is going to pan out for them. For the golden ball player of the tournament, like I said before, the last golden ball winner was Messi. In 2018 it was Luka Modric, right? So in 2010 it was Diego Forlan. That made me really happy. In 14 it was also Messi, shockingly, right? So, but well, anyways, let's not hit, or let's not flog a dead horse. Let's not continue to hit upon that controversy, because so many controversial issues in the world of football. Let's look forward to what will make us smile tonight. Don't forget that the first semi-final of the FIFA World Cup will take place. France versus Spain. La Roja versus the Blues. Le Blues of France. Mbappe versus Yamal. Rodri versus Kone. The duels, the individual contests within the match, right? So you can also say Mbappe versus Unai Simon, Mikel Oyarzabal versus Mike Mignon, or Paul Kubasi versus Osman Dembele. However you choose, just make sure you tune in at 8 p.m. Nigerian time. And tomorrow, England will be taking on Argentina. Messi has not faced England before, and he'll be facing three Lions of England tomorrow. The three Lions of England will be looking to do one better than what happened in 2018. You remember in 2022, they were eliminated by France. Harry Kane lost a penalty in that quarterfinal encounter, but this is a semi-final that they are slight favorites because of how much they have done in this tournament and how far they have come and the adversity that they have turned to prosperity. So this is the new England for you. Forget the back and forth with Bellingham and Thomas Tuchel. Thomas Tuchel saying they didn't perform well, and Bellingham said maybe he doesn't understand what it means to face Haaland. I think the internal rambling will not have any bearing on tomorrow's encounter. So don't forget that tonight France take on Spain, and tomorrow Albi Celeste will be playing the three Lions of England. Two semi-finals worthy of anyone's viewing and anyone's. Just stay glued to your television set from 8 p.m. Nigerian time today and tomorrow. Thank you very much. We'll be here on Thursday to give you blow-by-blow account and analysis of both matches. My name is Ohise Boreme, and it's Sports Grandeur on OJ 106.3 FM Benin. Signing out. Cheers.